switched recording devices because of the last space. The Battle of the Bastards.
We open on John's army, containing precisely this many extras.
Everyone's war game figurines are set up. Can you turn up a little bit too? Or does that take a different remote?
Of course it does. No, they're just being really quiet right now.
They are.
It's the calm before the storm.
I do appreciate bringing back the Stark banner logo. It seems like it's been through the trash. They rooted through some dumpsters with the Boltons through it.
Some busted ones, yes. Really old. Got some wildlings.
All the wildlings.
It's a 7-nation army.
None of the wildlings have any military training. And it shows. It's wonderful. And then there's one. You know, your only giant.
He's got no weapon.
No helmet. No armor.
Oh, don't even get me started on the lack of helmets.
Didn't try. No one has helmets.
This entire show. Important characters, gotta recognize them. Don't give them helmets.
That's fine, but unimportant characters, give them helmets.
Only
right?
extras have helmets.
That extra. Screen grab of that extra. He's in several different armies, but his face is so distinctive that there's like running theories that he's like this super cell sword that keeps defecting. It's wonderful.
That's great.
I like the burning crosses for the Boltons because they turn out to be rangefinders.
Of course they are.
For him shooting Ramsey shooting.
Of course they are. He's got
least important Stark.
Yeah.
Rickon.
Extra Stark. Ginger Stark. Sexy Stark.
Sporty Stark is absolutely Rob. I enjoy also. There was a small detail. The Umbers and the Karstarks and the Boltons are in mixed units, and actually. There was a guy talking about historical battles, and that would be a thing. Like if you interspersed different loyalties to your army, you would want to mix your guys.
Oh, instead of having one whole company just flee.
Yes.
Yeah, you're all here together.
That's what drives me crazy about this episode. Is parts of it are really accurate.
That
really
they're
good.
doing that suggests that loyalties are suspect.
Yes. Parts of it are really detailed and good, and then you can tell there's a point in the episode where they just quit.
They just stop.
And they're like, we're out of budget. Just make it a schmaz. Just do the Royal Rumble part where everyone's just hit it at once. And not even a good Royal Rumble, like the WCW Battle Royales where you all start in the ring at once. The worst kind. Here's Rickon Stark. Still has not said a line. And, spoiler, doesn't say a line all season.
Get paid.
How much does he? That's the question. Don't you have to say lines to get side credit? Did they cheap out?
I've been skipping the intros the entire of this project, so I didn't memorize the little symbols with the actors' names on them, which are the only way I learn the actors' names.
I would like to think that they spent too much money on Dragon CGI, and then they were like, "We can't pay for Rickard."
There was a lot.
Have any lines?
There was a lot of Dragon CGI. In the first 10 minutes of this episode that could have been spent on.
Like, he could shout, "John!" But they were like, "Guys, I'm sorry, we had those extra 0.5 seconds of Dragon CGI.
And you're too young to be in the union, so...
I think this is better now because it bothered me that he didn't zigzag. But Ramsey specifically says, as fast as you can. Yeah. And credit to Rickon.
All right.
A straight line.
Quarter mile.
Got it. He's like, I've done the 400 yard. Got this.
This I'm fine with. Ramsey has hunting experience. This is no more difficult or stressful than Blackfish shooting the boat setting on fire.
Yeah. Cool with that. He's missing on purpose to goad and draw John in. That's fine. Yep. Again, this first part, good. He doesn't
no
even
look.
What does it? Oh,
no look.
Boss move. Heel wrestler. Ramsey Gordon.
Ramsey Gordon. Yes. Switch.
Ramsey Bolton.
Heel wrestler. Shit.
Is this one that hits? Yeah.
He's paying attention on that one.
Struck through the heart. You're to blame. Yeah. Anyway, this one. Nope. See the music.
Fooled me. Yeah, there was drama. I thought he was done for.
That's what they call a false finish. There we go. Again, it's all pro wrestling. That's The hot tag denied. You got to corner him. He'll take the. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's on.
That's the stare down. And this first part I love.
Yeah.
With the we'll get to it. Your brother's dead. For all you know, all your brothers are dead. Oh shit! I'm in the middle of the field. In archery range, as was just proven.
Yep.
And so I like this because he actually charges intelligently, because it would be trying to escape the arrows.
Whatever plan you had, we're doing something different now. I like this guy. I like the old archery sergeant.
Right? He's like, I know who gets flayed and who doesn't get flayed around here. That's a lot more arrows than archers, by the way. And so yeah, I like that. They even show it, like it's raining down on where he was
And
half
even
a second ago.
Even that, like, and yeah, Ramsey's personal range is not like 3 levels higher than all the other archers.
I don't know about an infantry charge right now. That seems kind of dumb. But again, this is going back to like every battle in every movie is just about charge.
Yeah.
Use charge. There's no units doing
This
pincer
is
moves.
where we just slow motion horses.
Oh, they're beautiful. So well shot.
Slow motion horses.
This episode is so... I said on Twitter, it's a microcosm of everything wrong with this show, where it's beautiful, it's wonderfully shot, and it's well-crafted fucking garbage.
Well, you get the little shot on Umber there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe he's gonna do something.
Are they lingering? Is there a plan for the Umbers to turn coats? Yes, if we had a budget. The cavalry charge, like, I remember my jaw being dropped with the crashing cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. The one shot is beautiful. It's so frustrating how well crafted this episode is and how bad John's strategy is.
Kit Harington acting is like doing a good job.
It's good.
He's like got emotion on his face.
I feel like everyone's good except for the writing. Literally everyone does a great job except for the writers. They throw about 5 Chekhov's on them there, and then they're like, the Knights of the Vale.
It's funny and amazing.
Also, but I mean, I've shown you Lindy Beige.
Yes.
I was talking about like where cavalry charge is a thing. Would a horse do that? Would a horse run into another horse? No.
Right. Ramsey doesn't care. But this is a lot of noblemen getting killed by a lot of peasants.
Right. Those are not. Yes.
Is Ramsey trying to kill off the northern nobility? Am I reading too much into it?
That would be a wonderful. Oh my god. Or could there have been a scene before this where Ramsey was like, "No, let's have the nobles shooting heroes and putting peasants on the horses," and he's mass promoting all these peasants? Stuff like that would have been really fucking good. Oh.
I do like the chaos of this, and it's a long take.
It takes a lot of effort. It's excellent. I love how many times Kit almost dies.
You know.
And it's like, is he chosen? Is he skilled? Do people stick out for him? Yes.
It's just kind of Saving Private Ryan as well.
Yeah.
Chaotic stuff happens.
Where's the one where the guy almost like is about to kill him and someone?
That?
No. It's coming up. Someone's like about this guy.
Oh yeah.
About to accident another horse and like where'd that horse come from at full speed?
It's really confusing. It's really hard to keep track of.
And then there's I'm sure there's slowed down for commentary about war.
Yep.
And Ramsey's like, no, I'm gonna kill all my noblemen. I like how all the bodies piled up conveniently in one spot. Really, how it would work. And I think this is where they ran out of budget. And
Right here? You're calling it right here?
I think When all the horses,
No more horses.
all the horses died is when you can tell they ran out of budget, and they're just like, all right, let's just have it be literally bastard bull.
Yep.
Bull.
Yep.
I keep touching this thing to make sure it doesn't go sleep because I don't have a power cord. This is the low budget commentary.
It's muddy now. It wasn't. That is more bodies
That is.
than there are in the armies to begin with.
To be fair, could they be on hills? Could they have migrated the fight to some sort of trash heap?
Those hills weren't there before. Oh.
It's time to go.
Those aren't.
I would follow that.
No, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
What's your what? Those aren't what?
Those guys have normal shields.
Yeah, they're all kite shields, yeah. So maybe Ramsey's been hiding his cracked team that no one knows about.
All the
basement of
time you see him like torture Theon, torture Sansa, hunt, and like all the time he's not doing those things, he is drilling this army.
Preparing a phalanx. I love who owns the North. We do. Like, yeah, if I was a Northman, I'd follow that.
Yeah.
If I was in the other army, I'd be like, well, yeah, we should. Although I gotta question Small Joe Number. You know, you've just watched this dude pour arrow after arrow into his own nobleman. You're like, yeah, no, I'll totally run it. And there's your phalanx. All right, so now here's what Matt hates so much. They watch the phalanx surround them like they've literally never seen this before. So you gotta figure none of these guys have any idea why they would be surrounded.
I mean,
is this bad?
Being surrounded is bad.
All of a sudden, the phalanx is 4 people deep instead of 1. How'd that happen?
Where did this come from? What?
We shouldn't have let them get all the way around
It's
us.
not unprecedented in the show. The Unsullied do this, but they are unique, and this is why they're special. Also, at no point in Westeros have you seen a pike that long. This is completely new.
The budget ran out a while. The budget was on the shields. Did they need to paint all the shields with a sigil? That seems like a waste of time.
Just blue would be probably fine.
Would you rather be a shield guy or a spear guy? I think I'd rather be with 2 hands on the spear.
As a job, I want to stand as far back as possible. I want to be the reserve spear guy.
Want to be Small John Umber there? First over the pile? To be fair, first over the pile. Like, Small John Umber should have turned face because, man, he was a good leader. Spoiler, there's no face turn, there's no turn.
And 1-1's just taking pikes. Like, 20-foot pikes are the best way to fight a giant. For sure.
If only you had some sort of tree or armor. They're just running into swords and body checking them like hockey players. Notice the pikes aren't stopping them. So there's no real, like, for the pikes, you want to just be constantly.
Pokey poke, yeah. And maybe a few guys with little swords mixed in there. Maybe some crossbows. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of the, like, human feeling here. It's a lot of suffering.
Oh yeah, the shot that's coming up. The overhead shot when he comes out. There was a few online comparisons of the overhead shot of Daenerys and Nisa.
Oh yes.
Nisa scene.
Oh yes.
The overhead, and it was all men must serve, all men must die.
Yep.
I was like, that's
the poetry there.
Who knows if that's what they wanted, but it's brilliant. The first time that they should have killed Tormund, right here.
Yep.
I love Tormund. He's one of my favorite characters. He should have died about 5 times if this was still Game of Thrones.
Yep.
If this was still George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones.
That's the end of Tormund, for sure.
And I love him. But
the pikes have counterweights on the back. That's a good detail.
They thought of a lot of things except for why it just doesn't make sense. Also, by the way, so Jon's army has lost.
Absolutely.
Jon got beat by Ramsay Bolton.
Absolutely. It wasn't even close.
Ramsay Bolton tore through Stannis like toilet paper and beat Jon.
Yep.
And that's why I think this episode is a failure. Ultimately, why it's a failure is there's no payoff for all of the Bruce Bolton saying, if you act like a rabid dog, you'll be put down like one.
Yes, thank you.
There's no...
That kind of long arc of why does Ramsey fail?
Nothing. Small John Umber, like, he's been in 2 episodes, so him dying is kind of cool, but I don't...
Yeah, Tormund kills a minor character. The claustrophobia on this is really intense and did affect me the first time I saw it. Most fantasy battles don't give you this.
Sure.
It's just a
Have you ever had that? I actually had this in a... Not this. I was in John. But have you ever had, like, that sort of an ability? Like, I was in a pit, a mosh pit once.
Yeah, getting lost in a mosh pit is the closest thing.
A shitload of dust and you can't breathe and you're like...
I don't like it!
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
But, you know.
Yep, no polite moshers here. Stepping on your face. Sometimes they
has anyone put a bunch of no effects in the background?
Change the music.
Yep. A bunch of rancid. Oh yeah. You just change the music to Maxwell Murder.
Yeah.
He's coming up there in the bass solo. Yeah. Yes, please.
Yep. Here's your big shot.
All men must die.
Yep.
True story.
Of an army being tortured to death, which is what Ramsey would do.
Which, by the way, Small John's army ran into that.
Yep. Yeah, there's some of them in there.
Are they the worst army? Are they the dumbest army? Is 1-1 horribly misused? He's a walking siege engine.
Yep.
Get people just headbutting each other. Davos is like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have used all the archers to charge in. Someone's like, maybe we should Deus Ex Machina. If only some sort of...
Right now. It's the Riders of Rohan.
Certainly would be nice if 25,000 armed knights came riding over the ridge.
That would make your day. Ramsey's like, oh, I got no reserve.
I do like... All right. I do like that. I do like how... And it's subtext hidden behind walls, hidden behind a shield wall that came out of nowhere. If Ramsey didn't kill his own cavalry...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they couldn't fend this off. There's 20,000 horses out of nowhere.
These are the Knights of the Vale, sure. But if he had cavalry, this would be the point to use them.
If he didn't murder his own cavalry, in theory, you could say, oh, like, his own cavalry...
Screen a retreat back to Winterfell, and now we're having a siege.
So that's what bothers me so much about this effing episode. There's things there that, like, you're like... Writers could have done a lot with this, and they ran out of budget. They're like, schmaz. Just have them... And what kills me is, like, I watched, I don't know if you've seen the commentary by the directors, is they even said, they're like, yeah, we ran out of money.
Oh, now 1-1's got a weapon.
Excellent. And they actually said, they're like, shouldn't it just end up with like a dust-up, they call it, like a punch-out between these two guys? And I was like, a punch-out between the two guys? Cool. Why did 10,000 people have to die for that? Yeah, it was... I do enjoy the unscathed Ramsey versus the been through hell and back John.
Very scathed.
Very good. Do the Bolton helmets look like the dumbest helmets in Westeros with their tall thing?
I think the Lannister helmets with the stupid hinged eye guards are also pretty dumb.
What's the point?
And then of course floppy Frey hats are in a league of their own.
I think. Let's see. I think Highgarden might have the most unstated uniforms. They're just generic. Can I just get generic scale armor?
Yeah, we're fine.
Which they have all the money. They should have awesome armor.
We make it up in multitudes.
You killed them. He is correct, except
1-1's still a siege engine.
He has one job to do.
You had 1-1 job.
They have a cave troll. My problem with 1-1 at the gates is the same as the problem with the Knights of the Vale in general.
Ow!
Is how did you not see them coming? Or hear them?
Yeah, you knew it was coming up there.
You saw him. He was in the he was the giant in the middle of the
He
field.
was running up that clear
Someone should
field.
have been like, I feel like the giant might kick down the door.
It's pretty sad.
It would have been cool if someone actually said, Ramsey, I feel like that giant might kick down the door. And he was like, don't be ridiculous.
But hey, 1-1 door open.
I enjoy people running and getting mowed down by arrows as though they were getting machine gunned on Omaha Beach. It's an interesting visual. That wouldn't happen.
It's right up there with saying fire when all of the archers. Pretty good.
They're like, what about fire?
Good about boosting.
Is there fire?
Oh, 1-1.
I hope you don't get hit in the eye while we're having a moment. Well,
who shot that arrow?
I do enjoy this part.
Yeah.
That is a Ric Flair move.
All right.
And the Mormont shield
Mm-hmm.
is well done.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, no.
Matrix moves.
Slight limp.
Rolling high on his reflex saves.
And I remember this was like the most cathartic
Yeah.
10 minutes of punching.
Punching Ramsey.
Like, if only he got him in the sharpshooter.
Yep.
Or something.
It's
That would have been.
the fight club moment. Face.
So, like, is it all's well that ends well? Or does that middle bit, like, it bothers me.
Does it jump the shark for you? And just like, oh, that was stupid.
I know your ratings are pretty harsh. I feel like it's still got a 6.5 out of 10.
The spectacle, yeah,
It's shot well.
it made me feel things.
Literally everything but the writing.
Symbolism.
Oh, your banners are off the wall. Literally everything but the writing is great. But the writing... oof.
And especially now that you've told me that, like, they had a better plan and just couldn't execute it. There was going to be a northern conspiracy.
Oops.
And we just didn't.
We over-dragoned, and now we can't.
In the first 10 minutes of this episode, that didn't even need to be there. Don't even get me started on hovering dragons.
How does that work?
They hover over the ships. They don't flap their wings fast enough to hover. Also, ship artillery is one of the only things that could kill a dragon.
To be
You wouldn't
fair-
want to hover.
To be fair, you don't know how much dragon bones weigh. Maybe that is enough, but they wouldn't. They would just go up.
Maybe magic. I don't know.
Or
But like
maybe
ship
they're effing
ballista
dragon.
would ruin a dragon.
Could a tail, like fish or like the butterfly swim, like you use your thighs like a tail swimming.
Yeah.
Could the dragon tail
Uh-huh.
movement create some sort of vortex?
Uh-huh. Hovernado.
I do like that they gave Sansa the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been wanting this.
Also, she won the battle. Ramsay won the battle. Ramsay won the battle of the bastards.
Ramsay won the
And
battle.
then Sansa
Deus Ex Knights of the Vale.
and Peter Baelish was like, "Oh yes, we're here on time, Sansa."
How did the knights even get there?
How did they get past Mount Cameron? Oh no, I talked about this. So
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Board game.
board game. The Knights of the Vale play. Peter Baelish plays the board game. The Knights of the Vale controlled the sea.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The sea square,
Uh-huh.
and they were able to move all in one move because we played the board game. You know that your pieces can move from land here across as many boats as you string together
Yep.
in one move. And they landed in. You can't land in Westeros, but in Winterfell, but they landed in east of that.
Yep.
Near
White Harbor.
White Harbor. Thank you.
Yeah.
So they landed in White Harbor, and obviously, the White Harbor folks were like, "Eh,
Get there.
Not gonna raise.
Not
any
that there are
problems.
any Manderleys in this. I think
No, they don't.
You see a Manderley like once.
I said White Herbert folks because there's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
Manderleys in the show.
No.
Because there's no Grand Northern
Sansa's talking now.
Because there's no Grand Northern Conspiracy.
Sansa's talking quietly, and Ramsay's face is burger.
Oh, she's saying how no one's gonna remember him because his dogs will eat him.
I think this is about the end of House Bolton.
And not a soul to hear.
The good dog stand.
I mean, they do their job. Ramsay being eaten by his own dogs is fine. It's not as good as him being turned on by willing, conscious men who know right from wrong. Like, this is a really good scene, and it would have been a really good parallel to the men that fought for him.
Oh,
but
yeah.
instead, we're just gonna do dogs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Small John Umber and Drippy Karstark. Yeah.
What a sweet pooch! Look at that guy. I totally agree. I think even without worst Karstark, what was he doing in the battle? Someone on subreddit Dreadfort was saying that he just kept flanking, and people say he's still flanking to this day. Just going off.
He just rode around.
And then he saw the moves, and he was like, "Oh, back to the car hold."
Okay.
Because then he shows up and he bends the knee to John, and you're like, "Oh, turncoat twice. I should trust this guy."
Yep.
Get it off. We're doing this again? King of the North again? Got it.
It's a fun time.
Sansa is now most heartless Stark. You might say she is some sort of Lady Stoneheart.
What's that?
No, I just watched the show. I don't read the books. I have no idea what that is.
And we're done.
6.5, I say.
I want 2 halves.
2 halves.
I don't do halves.
Oh, you don't do
I'm worried about ratings creep.
ratings creep, yeah.
You've
kept your ratings very pure and very they're very isolated or insulated. Both. They're very. Each one should be taken as their own little pill.
For example, Tower of Joy in season 6, episode 3, Oathbreaker. That's the moment of revival for Jon. That's a cool scene. The Tower of Joy choreography is really great too. So it's half cool. But then there's a bunch of Sam Tarly and Bran Stark being whiny and really stupid, and a bunch of Ramsay being really stupid. So that gets you a 5. Basically, half the episode is good and half the episode is bad.
What is Sam doing?
He's on a boat being seasick.
Oh.
I mean,
that's nowhere near as good as Sam. The sequence in season 7 of Sam cleaning up shit and throwing up is so good.
Yes.
Oh, you got the one that. All right.
I know what happens next. So that for me is a 5.
Okay.
You have to have something positively bad.
It's
interesting. Like Super Sansa Rapey episode gets you a 2.
Why did that have to be? I feel like because I watch these in clips, literally on YouTube, like show me this clip. I don't think of them episodes, and I think of like the scene. This scene is great. This scene is shit. So I don't even think about composing it into an episode. So, which is a whole different level of like production, like put together an episode.
When they're eminently spliceable, you've got all of these storylines, and you can assemble pieces from the 6 storylines to make it work on an episode theme, which they frequently do, like the children or an oath being broken, and it all themes together. This,
which is good.
Battle of the Bastards, and some Marines.
And also Tyrion's there.
So points off for that.
Yeah.
And it makes the whole episode too long. There's 10 minutes of Marine in there.
No, there's no need for this to be a whole hour. you don't. You might not even need. Do you need Davos finding the stag? You don't need. You don't need. You don't need anything outside of the Battle of the Bastards.
He already hates Melisandre. Does he need any more proof? Somebody else can. He meets a survivor from I don't know. Whatever.
The guy with the eyes that I was talking about in the battle could have been like, "Oh, I was there when he burned the daughter," and holds this deer up, and he's just like, "The deer, that's the single
survivor."
Yes.
Is it that implausible?
Yes. Oh, there was someone that was asking about. Speaking of survivors, someone asking about the Stannis and Ramsay battle, and on the Reddit, and they were like, "What happened to the sellswords?" And someone else
goes off.
Someone was like, "Well, they obviously joined South Bolton, and we see them at Battle of the Bastards."
Sure.
And I was like, absolutely.
Sure.
If I was a sellsword, and I was like, "How do I sell my sword?" How do I sell my sword and still make money in the cold, frozen north? Ramsay's paying, and there's a Stark at the castle. All right, I'm just gonna wait this one out and be my jobber again. Everything is pro wrestling.
A little trash talk.
Too much potential.
Yes. Blackwater, Battle on the Wall.
Whoa!
Like in theme, it took Matt Schrader a long time to get to the Battle of the Wall, and the drama of the tunnel. The visual spectacle, though.
Gren grew up on a farm. That killed it for me.
Yeah.
The whole post-Battle of the Wall. He was the last of the giant. He was the king among his people. Gren grew up on a farm. Yeah. The drama of the tunnel. Yeah, you might be right. I think most of the Battle on the Wall is sort of a schmoz, but so was this. There wasn't as much. All right, how about this? There wasn't as much potential with the Battle on the Wall.
Absolutely.
And they made it better than this, which is so fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
Because this had so much. Maybe because they didn't write about it yet. It's not in the books. I don't know. Like, you got to figure. All right, I don't think Stannis should lose to Ramsay on paper. Best tactician in Westeros versus Ramsay Bolton. But you got to figure in the books, it's going to come down to Ramsay and Jon.
Because that battle hasn't... Stannis is still alive in the books.
And so maybe he doesn't die, or maybe he does, and George R. R. Martin just does it better. I don't know. But it's probably going to come down to... George R. R. Martin's like Cliff Notes version. The hands are probably like, Ramsay
Stannis
and Jon.
dies, Ramsay dies.
Do something with us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to come down to Ramsay and Jon. And it is good that they're both the bastards.
They will battle. As bastards.
I think Bastard Bull would have been a much better title. But it's going to be thematic. He's going to have payoff to things.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have... Rickon's not going to be just...
The dialogue where Stannis offers to legitimize Jon, I'll make you Jon Stark, you can come with me, we'll take back Winterfell together. And that's really tempting for Jon. He almost does it. And he's like, no, the vow to the Night's Watch is more important.
Don't mind me.
And then Stannis goes off and does his own thing.
Don't mind me, I'll get stabbed by my boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's a genuine temptation and like mixed loyalties.
And don't get me started on Stannis. Don't get me started on... And Jon's like, I'm going to go home and sleep with my aunt.